Today, local government is more than just roads, rates and rubbish. Councils across Australia are finding themselves having to do more for the community, but with less resourcing. And while we don't have the budget to do everything we would like, we have to find innovative ways to do more with less. And to that end, Lockyer Valley Regional Council is doing everything it can to achieve long-lasting positive outcomes for the region.
Our position here in the Lockyer Valley in southeast Queensland, our geography and our topography make everything here suited to what we do. It's the perfect environment to grow vegetables. It's right on the doorstep of Brisbane. It's on most of the thoroughfares in terms of logistics and in terms of lifestyle. We're close to both the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast. We're close to Brisbane with all the amenities of the capital city, and yet around us we're surrounded by the most enjoyable rural living as you could possibly get.
So using that length of the highway, the Food Innovation Centre is a national project that we're hoping to attract funding for, to set Lockyer Valley up as a national model and showing the whole process of how the region all works together to develop investment.
Well, one of the important things I think for Australians in consumption of Australian produce is to make sure it's available on the shelves, and there's still huge demand in Australia for preserved product, whether it be in cans, frozen or whatever. And right now we're very limited in the amount of Australian produce in supermarkets on the shelves, and so it's really important we get a food processing facility so that we can have the Australian produce, and more particularly the Lockyer produce, right there at the forefront in the supermarket. And when the cannery materialises here in the Lockyer Valley, it'll be the newest in Australia. There probably hasn't been one built for more than 50 years. And already, we've got people from as far away as Townsville looking at their produce coming here to the cannery. We've got other product that's coming potentially from Tasmania and definitely from Victoria.
Rugby Farm was founded in 1912, making us just over 100 years old. So my grandfather and great-grandfather started farming on this very land, and I continue to farm with my brother Dan and my father David. There's not too many crops we haven't grown over those 100 years, so we're just lucky we have such amazing fertile soils here in the Lockyer Valleys.
Lockyer Valley Regional Council is driving regional development and positive change by embracing and working to its strengths, boasting the 7th most fertile soil on earth. Council is leading the charge for the region to be known not only for its soil, but as a food destination region, including sending a delegation to Asia to assist local primary producers secure high-value export contracts in the lucrative Asian market, and to date with enormous success.
Realising there was a real market in Asia for good quality food, and we could see a market for our local producers in that grain. So we're working with our local growers to come up with innovative ways of how we might take advantage of that. We have fostered some tours back over to Singapore, Hong Kong and those Asian markets, and we're now starting to see the fruition of those trade markets coming into play.
Obviously we're limited in opportunities as far as selling our produce locally, and I think it makes a whole lot of sense to look for new markets, and that's what the delegation was about. It was about seeking new markets in Asia, and it has of course been very successful.
We've worked quite closely with Regional Council, the Lockyer Valley Council, in putting together some markets. We've been over there with the Mayor, Steve Jones, and we have developed some good markets there, and we'll continue to do so. The fact that we can supply consistently daily is probably one of the things that puts us above other regions.
Local government has a huge responsibility, being the level of government with the biggest impact on the day-to-day lives of its residents. It's the level of government that provides the parks, the libraries and other amenities that attract people to want to call the region home, and in turn drives investment.
It's a wonderful location. I mean, it's just down the road to Brisbane. It's great for a day trip. There's all sorts of beautiful natural resources in the area. There's creeks and streams and beautiful rivers and dams. Great places to hang out on the weekend. Lots of great food.
I think, local government's really very much different to what it was in the past, and, of course there's still a lot of local governments that concentrate on roads, rates and rubbish, but I think, with a place like the Lockyer Valley, it's such an exceptional environment with such a great farming background and all sorts of natural assets that, it's opportunity lost if the council doesn't step up and grab a hold of some of these opportunities and move them forward, and that's what's happening. And most importantly, it'll secure the long-term future for this area.
Well, I'm very proud of being the CEO of Lockyer Valley Regional Council. We have achieved a hell of a lot in a short space of time after not only one disaster in childhood, but two again in 2013. It's taken a disaster or two to get us really focused on the region, and I think that's a real positive. We were fortunate to be in a good financial position when the disaster struck, but since then we've always had to make the most out of our small resources and make the most out of our dollars. 2015 hopefully will show that investment coming to fruition in more ways than one.
Driving the region forward from adversity to prosperity, Lockyer Valley Regional Council is leaving no stone unturned in stimulating the local economy and cementing the area as a food destination region. The message is clear. The Lockyer Valley is well and truly open for business. The Lockyer Valley, the region of choice for vibrant rural living.